So today we have a 60-minute practice. We are going to be working around the theme of Ardha Chandrasana, or the half moon pose. So we have lots of hip opening, lots of straight leg experience, but also plenty of opportunities to catch the feet. So we're going to be working on some back bends as well. If you have some blocks, make sure you keep them handy. If you pop them towards the top of the mat, then you know where they are and you won't be searching for them later on. We're going to start today's practice in downward facing dog. So we're going to come straight up, tuck the toes under, guide your hips up and back, and then just find your steady, even space. Allowing the breath to calm, to steady. Allowing yourself to settle in. Just taking 2 more breaths like that. Just arriving, settling into your practice. And from here, we'll shuffle the right foot a little closer to the center. And then use your inhale to reach your left leg straight up and back behind you. You're going to work to keep the left foot flexing and keep the leg nice and straight. Just start to roll the left hip open so it stacks on top of the right. So although we've lifted the left leg here, we are opening up through the right hip. That external rotation is what we're finding here, the inside of that right hip here. Left pinky toe is trying to press, reach up towards the ceiling. We're keeping the shoulders nice and square towards the front. And take a long breath here. And as you exhale, start to bend the left knee, squeezing the heel in towards the butt. And if you want to experience a little more opening, you can pop up onto your left fingertips and start to gaze underneath your left armpit there. Still keeping that left foot nice and flexed. We'll take another breath here. And the exhale, extend the left leg back behind you. Set the left palm flat. We'll come on back and find downward facing dog. Then from here, left foot just going to shuffle a little closer to the right. Inhale, reach your right leg straight up and back. Foot stays flexed. Then we'll roll open the right hip, still keeping the leg nice and straight. So pressing your right pinky toe up towards the ceiling. Maybe the left heel can move a little closer towards the earth. Take an inhale. Then let the exhale bend that right knee. Really squeeze the right heel in towards the right glute. And then pop up onto the right fingertips, start to gaze underneath that right armpit there. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, we'll re-straighten that right leg, set the right palm flat. Coming back, we'll find downward facing dog. From here, the heels lift nice and high. We push with the hands to tiptoe towards the top of the mat, working to make that journey nice and slow, especially at the beginning of practice. As you inhale, we'll come onto the fingertips, find a halfway lift. And on the exhale, we'll bow forward. Inhale will ground us through the feet. We'll reach the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, finding that Urdhva Hastasana. And as you exhale, we'll pull the palms together in front of the heart. So we are going to warm up with some classical Surya Namaskara. So classical in the sense that they all have the same postures, but modified in the way that we're going to go through the shy version of the vinyasa, which is sending hips back towards the heels first and coming through that full push up before we lower to the ground. So if that's not your style, you can just take the stock standard high to low plank and then come through your back bend from there. Completely up to you. This is your practice. But we'll settle in, find your feet. Let your arms rest down by the side. There's always space to set an intention or a dedication if you have one. But if you just use this time to come into your own breath and allow your mind to steady, and then just use it for that. Try not to overthink anything. And then from here, together we'll start to flow. So on your inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale to dive forward. Inhale, we'll lift up halfway, get long through that spine. And then work to ground the palms flat first. And then we'll step the left foot back, followed by the right. So finding that plank pose, pushing your heels back, sending the chest forward. And take an inhale here. As we exhale, we'll lower the knees, keeping the toes tucked under. Then inhale, guide the hips back towards the heels. And as you exhale, we're going to spring through that full push-up. So roll forward, lift the knees, bend the elbows, chest to floor. Then press straight back up before we lower all the way down. Come through Cobra pose. So tops of feet press down, inhale, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you exhale, we'll lower the forehead, tuck the toes, press straight back up to downward facing dog. Together we'll just take 3 long breaths. In and out through the nose. Last one. And this time as we walk forward, each step, so we're going to climb up on the heels, each step we work to lift the foot and see if we can tap the back of the corresponding wrist. So tap the right wrist with the right foot, then step it in front of the left, then pick up the left foot, tap the back of the left wrist, step it in front of the right, and so on and so forth as you make your way to the top of the mat. So really working, activating the hip flexors there, plugging the femur bones into the hip socket. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, we bow. In breath to reach the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, palms to touch. Second round, inhale, arms up. Exhale to dive. Halfway lift, we inhale using fingertips for support, and then palms set flat first. This time the right leg will step back first, followed by the left. We'll pause for the inhale. Exhale, lower those knees. Inhale, hips to heels, toes stay tucked. Exhale, spring through your push-up, chest touches the floor, and we press straight back up before coming to the earth, finding Cobra pose to start with, and then pressing off the earth for upward facing dog and taking a full breath there. And as we exhale, we'll take it back and find downward facing dog. And again, we just find 3 breaths. Letting these breaths in your downward facing dog be your chance to reset. So if the mind starts to run away, if the breath starts to run away, we use these steadying, calming breaths in downward facing dog to come back to our center. In this round, we'll look forward, lift heels, bend knees, take that gentle hop to the top. Inhale to lift halfway, and exhale to bow. Inhale, sweep up, let your palms touch, look up. Exhale, hands at heart. Third and final round, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bow forward. Halfway lift, full breath in. This time we work the float back to Chaturanga. So bend knees first, ground palms, then bend elbows as you scoop the legs back. Take a full push up before lowering to the earth, then pressing off the floor, finding upward facing dog. And let that exhale take you back. We'll find downward facing dog. And from here, we'll lower the knees down towards the earth. I'm just going to flip myself around so you can see a little more of what's going on here. So we'll come to hands and knees. We're going to keep the right hand underneath the right shoulder, the right knee underneath the right hip. And with your right toes tucked under, extend your left leg back behind you and let those toes turn off towards the left-hand side of the room. From here, spin the right bicep towards the front of the room. Start to reach the left arm up towards the sky. So you can think of this like a little baby half moon. We've got the same principles, the opening in the right hip, nice, long, strong back leg, and length from one hand to the next. The balance may start to get a little bit tricky, so if you need support, you can look down at your right hand. But if you have more space with the right toes tucked under, lean forward slightly to lift the left leg in the air. Flexing the toes towards the face, just like we did in those first downward facing dogs. So the pinky toe is lifting up towards the ceiling. The core's working nice and tight here to keep everything stable. You can stay right here, or if you have more space, squeeze the left heel in towards the butt and see if you can catch the outside of the left ankle with the left hand. And then keeping that foot flexed, you kick the shin back into the hand. See if you can press the front body forward and peel the left side of the body up towards the ceiling just a little bit more here. Remember, if you need help that balance, you can gaze down towards the right hand. See if you can stay there for a full inhale. And as you exhale, we'll gently extend the left leg back first, reach the left arm back up, and then slowly come back to all fours. Nice work. Rinse out with one round of cow-cat between sides. So inhale, lower the belly, pull the chest forward, lift the gaze. And exhale, tuck the chin round the back and press. As we come to the other side, I'm going to stay facing this direction so you can see from both sides. Left hand underneath the left shoulder. Left toes will stay tucked as we extend the right leg back behind us. Push through the left hand to reach the right arm up towards the sky. We want to find that external rotation through the left shoulder, so left bicep wraps forward. And you'll notice the shoulder starts to move away from the chin. We have a little more space in the neck here. If you've got a little more in the tank, you lean forward, see if the right leg will lift in the air. Really grip the mat with the left fingertips there. Making sure that you're finding that external rotation through that left hip. Keeping the glutes nice and firm. And if we did on the previous side, you bend that right knee. See if you can catch the right ankle there. Keeping the foot nice and flexed so that the leg is supported. Pushing the hips out in front of you as you guide that right shoulder blade onto the back to feel the opening across the collarbones. Take a deep and full breath in here. And very gently as you exhale, extend the right leg back behind you, reach the right arm up. And then we'll come on back to all fours. So good. From here we're going to lower the chest down towards the floor and find Anahata Asana. Now, I mention all the time, if you come on down and you feel the shoulders are really tight, take the elbows wide, let the hands come together, and then lower your chest down towards the floor there. That's just going to take the tension off the shoulder heads. So if you have the space, you can keep your arms nice and straight. It's completely up to you. And from here, we'll start to come up. We are preparing for Dolphin Pose, and this is going to be the only Dolphin Pose in this practice today. So maybe that's good news for you, maybe not. So if you want to get upside down and that's part of your practice, you can take it into your forearm balance there if you want. But we start by pressing the palms together, pushing the forearms down. From here, flex the arms, draw the chin to chest, tuck the toes, lift the hips. And we're going to be here for around 10 breaths, so you can stay right here, or you can work to take a gentle hop, maybe finding some space upside down in your Pincha Mayurasana forearm balance. Make sure you're keeping those arms active, pushing away from the floor so the head is not touching the earth. Keep everything working. Keep the belly hugging in, the ribs drawing towards each other. And if you're upside down, you come on down. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet back in the Dolphin Pose. We'll just be here for one final breath. And as we exhale, we'll lower those knees, untuck the toes, send the hips back towards the heels. So good. At the back of the hands, rest on top of the thighs. The fingers will curl in for a moment. Let the shoulder blades roll onto the back. Let the chest open up here. Then interlace your hands behind the back. Let your knuckles drive down towards the feet as you open up through the chest. If you have the space, we're going to go just the fingertips today, so keep the palms apart. and lower the head down towards the floor. Just let the arms rest and fall over the back of the head just for a moment. It's super important when we're in this bind, before we release it, you always want to bend your elbows and let your hands touch your tailbone first. That's just a lot kinder to your shoulders than just flinging the arms apart. So we have a few opportunities to take this bind today. We want to remember before we release, we bend the elbows, let the hands touch the tailbone first, then gently release that bind. Awesome work. From here we're going to come back, find downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, lift the hips up nice and high. From here, left foot will shuffle a little closer to center. Inhale, reach the right leg straight up and back. As you exhale, pull the right knee to chest, roll forward, tap the back of the right arm. Then inhale, reach the right leg straight up and back, press the heel to the back wall. Exhale, knee to chest, roll forward, tap the arm, then step the right foot just behind the right wrist. Then come onto the fingertips, we'll sit nice and deep in the right thigh. Set down the left heel, preparing for warrior one. So wrapping left hip forward, diving deep. We'll reach the arms up towards the sky. So we really want to work on the hips squaring to the front of the room. So you may want to shuffle your right foot a little more to the right hand side. We feel that left glute firm. That'll help us to wrap the left hip forward. And then we might be able to dive down, find more depth. Work to get this right thigh bone parallel to the floor here. And you can gaze up towards your thumbs, let your shoulders soften away from the ears. Take a full breath. Dive deeper on the exhale. Take one more like that. Full breath in. Exhale, hands to earth. As you lift the back heel, we're going to pull the right knee, let it tap the back of the right arm. Just hold it there for a moment. And this is going to be fun. Keep the right foot flexed. From here, just open the right knee out towards the right hand side, but keep the arm straight. Feel the outside of that right hip really start to work. Keep flexing the right toes, pointing the pinky toe up towards the ceiling. Take one last breath. And as you exhale, step it back, come through your vinyasa. You can put as many push-ups in there as you like, working to strengthen the arms along the way. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. When we do, inhale, reach the left leg straight up. Exhale, knee taps the back of the arm. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, knee taps the arm again. And then we'll land the foot behind the wrist, setting up for that warrior one. So come onto the fingertips, set the feet, take a little more width. Shuffle the left foot a little wider. Wrap the right hip forward, dive deep into the left thigh. And as you reach those arms up, make sure we're not dumping into the low back here. So lift the front of the hips. Pull the navel in and gaze up towards your thumbs as the shoulders soften away from your ears here. Keeping stable through the feet. So pressing down through the ball joint of the left big toe, the ball joint of the right pinky toe. Take one last breath. As we exhale, circle the hands to the earth. We're going to hover the left knee, let it tap the back of the left arm. Shuffle that right foot back. Then from here, keeping the foot flexed, we just open the knee out towards the left-hand side, but keep pushing down through the hands. Pinky toe points up towards the ceiling. Outer left hip is working. Take a breath. Exhale, come back to the plank. Make your way through the vinyasa. Come through your Cobra or your upward facing dog. And let the exhale take you back. We'll find downward facing dog. Nice work. This time I'm going to take it up a notch, just a little. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right knee taps the back of the right arm. Inhale, reach the leg up. And exhale, step the foot behind the wrist. We'll find warrior one. Inhale, reach the arms up. Then from here, look towards your thumbs. I'm going to spin the thumbs so they face the front of the room and interlace the hands behind the back. Now you want your feet to be a little wider here. Keep shuffling that right foot a little more out towards the right hand side. And then slide the fists down the back of the hips as you open the heart. Take an inhale. Then as you exhale, we'll fold. So as we come to humble warrior,
we want the right shoulder to be falling inside the right thigh rather than resting on top. So that's why we took the right foot a little bit wider. Then as you fold, the right hip's going to want to fall out towards the right hand side. So you actively hug the outer right hip in towards the midline of the mat. You let the arms fall over the back of the head and imagine that the crown of the head was trying to touch the floor here. Again, you can have fingertips together, you can have the palms pressing against each other. Whatever works for you, be kind to those shoulders. We'll be here for one full breath in together. We'll stay for the out breath. And then nice and easy, before you release the bind, let the hands touch the bottom first. Set the left hand underneath the left shoulder, then pivot all 10 toes off to the right hand side. Fall off onto the outside edges of the feet. And then push down through the outer left foot, reach the right arm back behind you. Take a breath. As we exhale, we swing it all the way around to Skandasana. Bending into the left knee, let the right toes lift up and off the mat. Because we're working on external rotation, we really want these right toes to be pointing up, so we find that opening in the inner right thigh. Sit down nice and low, keeping the left heel grounded flat. You can choose to stay here, or if you have the space, we drop the bottom to the floor, let the right hand catch hold of the left wrist, reach the left arm up towards the sky. If you have more space, the right hand catches the left ankle. Sorry, I should say. If you have more space, you can work the left hand over towards the right foot. Maybe it catches the outside of the foot, and then you pull on the ankle, push on the foot to peel your gaze underneath your left armpit towards the ceiling. We want to reverse this whole process. So if you have the foot, reach the left arm back up first, and elevate your torso. Release the left ankle, lean forward to lift the hips. Then we'll take ourselves around towards the top of the mat. Once we arrive, pivot onto the left toes, lean forward, take the left leg up towards the sky. Finding standing split, we won't be here for too long. If you want to, you can take the right hand, let it rest on the back of your right calf. And for my friends who always want a little bit more, I wouldn't be Sam Han if I didn't introduce the idea of the split leg handstand. So ground the palms, wrap the biceps. Keep the left leg nice and straight. You can hop onto the right toes and take a little gentle hop. Maybe finding a little bit of space there in the split leg shape. If you have it, maybe take both legs up towards the sky. Keep pushing through the hands, driving the toes up towards the ceiling. When you're ready to lower back down, we lower that right leg first, nice and gently. Come on down, find a forward fold. So good. You're going to interlace the two fingers, so middle and index around the inside of the big toes. Take a halfway lift as you breathe in. And exhale to dive forward, bend the elbows, drop that head down, and roll your shoulder blades away from your ears. Leaning weight into the toes, bending knees slightly, feeling front body compression, ribs to thighs. And together, release the toes. We'll start to roll up to stand. You can use your hands for support and walk them up your shins. When we arrive, we're going to be standing on our left foot. We'll bring the right knee in towards the chest. Keep the right toes flexing up towards the ceiling and really stand up tall in that left leg, as tall as you possibly can. And from here, once you have the balance, extend the left arm out towards the left hand side, let the palm face up, and then open your right knee out towards the right hand side. Again, it's creating that same shape of that baby half moon we took before. We'll just change the orientation to gravity. So keep standing taller in your left leg, keep opening the right knee out. If you want to challenge your balance, just gaze off towards the left hand. Imagine you're holding a bowl, so let the palm face up. Take a deep inhale here. And stay for the breath out.
And gently bring the left hand back to center, the right knee back to center, and let the foot soften down. Woo, so good. Together on your inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale to dive forward.
Inhale to take a halfway lift. You want a little bit of mat in front of you, so if you need to take a step back, absolutely. And sit the hips down nice and low. Find Malasana. And take the triceps to the knees. We're preparing for crow pose. So quite often in a crow pose, I'll cue to point the toes. Today we're going to flex the feet. It doesn't look as pretty on an Instagram selfie, but that's not what we're going for today. It's going to help us, so make sure those feet stay flexed. So keep the ribs and the thighs glued, keep the arms and the knees glued. Ground your palms, lean forward. If you have the space, we lift the feet. Now flex them for today and squeeze the heels to butt. Draw the inner thighs towards each other. Keep the chest lifting and look forward over the top of the mat. Be here for 5. For 4, keep the feet flexed. For 3, for 2, then on 1, we work it back to Chaturanga. So extend the legs back, take your push up, and drop the knees, come forward. Another push up there.
And press up and off the earth, finding upward facing.
Let the exhale take you back to downward facing dog. From here, right foot shuffles close to the left. Inhale, reach the left leg straight up. Exhale, left knee taps the back of the left arm. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, tap the arm and step the foot behind the wrist. Finding warrior 1, a little more space this time, shuffle the left foot wider. Inhale, reach the arms up, look to your thumbs, and then spin the thumbs so they face the front of the room. Interlace the hands behind the back. Wrapping that right hip forward, sliding the fists down the inside of that right leg. Let your chest open, take a breath. And as you exhale, we'll dive forward. Again, working our left shoulder inside the left thigh. Keep pressing down through that right pinky toe, the left big toe. Wrap the outer left hip towards the center of the mat. Let the arms fall over the back of the head, fingertips or palms together, your choice. Sometimes that bind can get a little bit slippery, especially as we move deeper into the practice. Let your head drop heavy. We'll be here for a full breath. We'll stay for the out. Then mindfully, let the hands touch the tailbone first. Right hand underneath the right shoulder. Then all 10 toes to the left hand side. Reach that left arm back behind you. Try and keep that right knee hovering off the earth by pushing down through the outside edge of the right foot. And work it around to Skandasana. 10 toes to the right foot, sit deep in the right thigh. Left toes lift up and off the mat. We achieve that by flexing the left foot. So really draw the toes towards the shin. Feel the opening through the inside of that left thigh. If we did on the previous side, we lower the bottom down. Left hand will catch the right ankle this time. I got it right that time. We want to press the elbow and the inner thigh towards each other. As you push those two together, you can spin the right side of the body higher. So reach the right arm up. Stay here. And work the right hand over towards the left foot. Now it may take some convincing to get there, or it may not get there at all. Doesn't matter if it's not there, you can just let the right hand rest on the outside of the right cheek there. And think more the back of the ear. Into deep side bend. Want to make sure the head is free so the arm's not crushing the head there. Again, to come on out, we want to reverse this entire process. So reach the right arm back up, lift the torso, and release your right ankle. Lean forward to lift the hips. And come on around. We're preparing for that standing split. So set the left foot down, reach the right leg up towards the sky. And again, lots of options. You can take your left hand to catch hold of the back of your left calf there. Or if you did on the previous side, you're going to play with the split leg handstand. You might want to step your left foot back a touch so you have more space. Keep the right leg active, toes pointed or flexed. Keep gaze between the hands. Take a gentle hop off the left foot. If you have the split leg shape, stay there. Or if you want to take it further, you work the left leg up to meet the right. Keep the feet active, core engaged. Keep driving down through the hands to lift higher away from the floor. And when we're ready to lower down, it's left leg first, followed by the right. So we'll meet in that forward fold yet again. And this time, I'm going to work to Padahastasana, foot to hand pose. So we lift the feet to take the palm underneath the sole of the foot. You're going to let your knees bend a touch. Even let the elbows bend if there's space. That way the head can drop. You never want to feel too much tension in the back of the neck. Especially after a pose like handstand, because we need to gaze between the hands in the handstand, we have to have that little bit of a kink in the neck. So we really want to come into a forward fold afterwards so we can release that kink and really draw the chin into chest. We'll slowly start to release the hands. Slowly start to roll all the way up to stand. So when we arrive this time, we're going to be grounding into the right foot. The left knee will draw in towards the chest. So flex the toes up to ceiling, stand tall in the right leg. And once you feel supported, extend the right arm out towards the right hand side first. Let the palm face up, then open the left leg out towards the left hand side. So if you face the palm up, you get this stretch all the way down through the shoulder and the top of the arm as well, so the bicep. And that's what we want to feel. So you want to feel the arm straightening, the palm facing up. Right, toes are still flexing, or left toes I should say, my apologies. If you want to challenge the balance, gaze off towards that right hand. The navel drawing in, stand taller if you can. Take a full inhale. As we exhale, slowly come back to center. Release the arm, release the leg, and soften it down. So good. We're going to work our way down onto the belly here, preparing for some back bends. So find your feet first. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale to bow it forward. Inhale to lift your chest up halfway. And then nice and easy, step the feet back one at a time, lower the knees, and take yourself all the way down on to the floor. Let the forehead touch the earth. Take the arms down by the side for a moment. Tops of the feet will press down. Now to start with, let's hover the knees off the mat so you feel the legs activate. And then slide the hands a little closer towards you. Notice the elbows point up towards the sky, and here you can squeeze your shoulder blades together a little more for more retraction. And then we'll keep the hands and feet grounded for a moment. Just lift the head and lift the chest. So find this amount of lift and then really squeeze those shoulder blades back. And if you have space, you float the feet as well. And keep driving through the fingertips. And lift the chest a little higher. And once everything is as high as it's going to go, you reach the arms back behind you. I'm just going to be here for a count of 5. For 4, squeeze the shoulder blades. For 3, lift the chest. Hold for 2. And on 1, we'll lower down. Just take a cheek to the mat. And once that breath starts to settle, we'll prepare for our second round. So this time working to interlace the hands behind the back. So again, we've had plenty of options or chances to do this already. So you choose fingertips or palms together. We roll the shoulder blades back first, slide the fists down the back of the hips, and then inhale to lift the head, lift the chest,
and lift the legs as well. From here, I want you to think back to that crow pose where we were flexing the feet rather than pointing them. And then we squeeze the heels in towards the butt. So imagine your knuckles were trying to touch your heels here. I'm going to lift the chest a little higher, float the fists away from the hips. See if we can float the knees away from the floor. Just be there for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and on 1. Lower down. Take your opposite cheek to the mat this time. As we prepare for our third and final back bend here on the floor, we're setting up for Dhanurasana bow pose. So the intention is to catch hold of both of the ankles. So I'm going to try and do that at the same time. So we're going to set up just like we did in the second round. We're going to be interlacing the hands behind the back. And if in that second round your knuckles could comfortably tap the back of the heels, then that's a good indication that the ankles are going to be there for you to catch. And if not, you can just stick with the second round, what we did last time, by squeezing the heels into butt and drawing the knuckles towards the heels. So you decide. Start by interlacing hands. Roll the shoulder blades back. Slide the fist down. And inhale to lift the head and lift the chest. Float the feet. From here, flex the feet. Squeeze the heels to butt. And if they comfortably touch, see if you can catch hold of both ankles at the same time. Keep the feet flexed and kick the shins back into the hands. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Let the knees lift high. Let the chest lift high. You're here for a count of 5. For 4, keep the neck nice and long, so draw the chin to chest a little. For 3. For 2. And as we lower, we want to lower the head and chest first. Squeeze the heels to butt and gently release the ankles at the same time. Let everything soften down. Nice work. And from here, destination is going to be back in downward facing dog. So set the hands underneath the shoulders, underneath the elbows I should say. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, then push up and off the floor. And take yourself back to downward facing dog. So here we are going to use a block. If you have one handy, just pop it towards the top of the mat. Then on the inhale, reach the right leg straight up towards the sky. Exhale, right knee taps the back of the right arm, roll forward. Then inhale, reach the leg straight up. Then exhale, step the foot between the hands after tapping the back of that arm. Now the block is going to go outside your right foot. We're going to meet in Warrior 2 this time. So take up a lot of space. Line up the feet down the center of the mat. Spread the arms out nice and wide. Dive deeper into that right hip. Let your breath be calm and steady here. Settle into the posture. Keep the right knee opening out. Knee tracking over the toes there on the right foot. Left leg nice and straight. From here we'll take our left hand onto the left hip. Let the left hip wrap forward just a touch. Now as you drive down through the right foot, we're going to straighten the right leg, keeping the quadriceps engaged. So you will see the kneecap lift up the thigh as the quads flex. And then we still want to keep the knee tracking over the toes, so it may have internally rotated. We externally rotate the thigh a little more. Reach the right arm forward, take a breath. Then exhale to lean your torso out in front of you. So the hips will tilt backwards as you lean forward, and wrapping the left hip towards the front of the room is going to give you more space here. So keep reaching, 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 and then take the right hand down towards the block and reach the left arm up towards the sky. So you want to press the right forearm and the right thigh against each other. You're going to push down through the block to peel the left side of the body up higher. You may not need the block, you may have your hand on the floor, that's completely fine. And we want to work here to get just as much length through the right side of the body as we do the left. So lengthen the right rib cage to the front of the room and the left rib cage to the back of the room. So finding a little more compression through the left side of your obliques there. Let the left shoulder roll away from the jaw as you gaze up towards the left arm. Maybe find the space to close your eyes. If that right leg has stopped flexing, make sure it's engaged. Take one last breath. Stay for your exhale. And let the left hand touch the hip. Gaze down towards your block. We're going to bend the right knee first. Start to shuffle the left foot forward just a touch. From here we prepare for half moon, so move slowly. Block in front of the right foot. Without jumping, lean forward to gently lift the back leg up and off the mat. And everything we've been working on. External rotation through the right hip. Left pinky toe will point up towards the ceiling. We stack the left shoulder on top of the right. If you have space, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. You can choose to stay right here, keeping your gaze nice and steady, keeping the left foot flexed. Or if you have space, we bend up that left knee and work to catch the outside of that left ankle with the left hand, finding Chapasana. And like we did previously, you kick the shin back into the hand to open up through the front body a little bit more. Keep the gaze steady, keep looking down towards the block. Keep your right quad active and flexing. Take a full inhale. If you have that left leg, we're going to come back to half moon first, so extend it back, reach the left arm up. And nice and easy, we're going to lower the left foot next to the right and fold forward. So good. Now from here, we're going to come all the way up to stand. We're going to bring the right leg with us. So take the first two fingers, wrap them around the inside of the right big toe, then ground through the left foot. Come all the way up to stand first. Then once you arrive, extend the left arm out towards the left-hand side, the right leg out towards the right-hand side. Spin the right bicep up towards the ceiling. Let the left palm face up towards the ceiling and flex your right quad as you stamp through the left foot there. Take a deep inhale. Stay for the out breath. Slowly bring everything back to center. Gently release the right leg and lower it down. Oh my gosh, so fantastic. Take yourself towards the top of the mat. Don't worry about that block, it can stay there, it's completely fine. Inhale, reach your arms straight up towards the sky. And exhale to bow forward. From here we'll take a halfway lift as we breathe in. Stepping the left leg back, we're going to lower the left knee down onto the earth. Shuffling the right foot out just a little bit wider. So we're coming into a lizard lunge. We'll stay on the hands for today, because we do have an option to come into an arm balance here if you want to. The Ekapada Kundinyasana, or flying scissor pose. So from here, if you want to come into the arm balance, we're going to lower the chest down by bending the elbows. Boom. Then the back of the right arm is going to rest underneath the right hamstring there. You're going to set the right hand just behind the right foot. You slide the left hand back so it's in line with the right. Now find Chaturanga with your arms. Hug the elbows in. Lean forward with the chest. With the back toes tucked under, lift the back knee. Now here's the fun part. We're going to hover the right foot up and off the mat first, keeping the foot flexed. Now bend the elbows more. Straighten the front leg, and if you have space, lean forward to lift the back leg. Keep both of the feet flexed. Keep lifting the back leg by using that left glute. And elevate the chest. And be here for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, on 1. Set the left toes down, push through the hands, take the right leg straight up and back behind you. From here, roll the right hip open, bend the knee, and if you have the space, you can take it in to Karasana, wild thing. Take a full breath in here. Peel the front body up towards the sky. And as we exhale, we'll take it back and find downward facing dog. Beginning our left side now. Inhale, reach that left leg straight up and back. Exhale, left knee taps the back of the left arm. Inhale, reach the left leg straight up.
Exhale, tap the arm and step the foot between the hands. Block outside the left foot. We'll find warrior two, so coming up. Lining the feet down the center of the mat. Sit hips nice and low. Spread the arms out nice and wide. Settle into your warrior. Let that right leg start to straighten as the left thigh sits lower. And gently take right hand to your right hip. With the hip wrap forward as you stamp through the left foot to straighten the left leg. Keeping the quad flexed and keeping that knee tracking over the toes. Left arm will reach forward. We'll take a breath. As we exhale, we'll lean forward as much as we can. Feel the hips tilting back. Feel the back of the left leg start to find the length. And take your hand down towards the block. Push through that block to reach the right shoulder and right arm up towards the sky to stack on top of the left. The Trikonasana triangle pose, it can be easy to let this front leg start to turn to jelly, so really press down through the ball joint of the big toe and flex the quad. Get length through your left side rib cage, a little contraction through the right side of the belly there. Wrapping right shoulder blade onto the back to find a little more opening and peeling the right side of the body up a little higher. Such a beautiful pose, Trikonasana. You can almost stay here forever. Take a full breath in. And gently return the right hand to the right hip. Look down. You're going to shuffle the right foot back, bending the knee, and shuffle the left foot forward. Now the main part of the process here we're trying to avoid is jumping. So you set the block in front of the left foot and lean forward gently to lift the back leg. Make sure that block is underneath the shoulder. Keep pointing the right pinky toe up towards the ceiling. Right shoulder will stack on top of the left, then you reach the right arm up. So the whole front body is facing the right hand side of the room now. If you have space, and you did before, actively squeeze the right heel to butt and search for the right ankle. If it's there, fantastic. If it's not, don't worry, you can just extend the leg back. If it's there, gently drawing the shin back into the hand to open the front body just a little bit more. If you have the foot, take one last breath. And then very, very gently extend the right leg back first, reach the right arm up, and gently set the right foot next to the left. We will fold. My goodness, we are so close. This time we're going to come all the way up to stand. We're going to bring the left leg with us. So take first two fingers, wrap them around the left big toe. Push through the right foot, come all the way to stand, bringing that left leg with you. Wrap the left bicep up towards the ceiling, stand tall in the right leg. Then extend right arm out towards the right hand side and left leg out towards the left hand side. Keep the crown of the head reaching straight up towards the ceiling. The inner left thigh opening towards the ceiling. Let your shoulders soften away from your ears. Be here for a breath. Stay for the out. And gently bring everything back to center. Release the leg gently and let it soften down. Wow, this has been an amazing practice. We just have this lizard lunge and the arm balance on the left hand side, and then it's all going to be rest from there. I'm going to set those blocks out of the way. So come to the top of the mat, inhale, reach your arms straight up, and exhale to dive forward. Take your halfway lift as you breath in. We're going to step the right leg back for the lizard lunge now. Drop the knee down and let your left foot be a little wider than your left hand. Pressing the palms down nice and flat. Shuffling that right knee back a touch if we can. So option to stay right here. There's no obligation to do any more if you don't want to. But if you are planning on working towards that arm balance, we bend the elbows, let the chest lower down. We super glue the back of the left arm and the back of the left leg together. Slide the right hand back so they meet, hug the elbows in. Then lift the back knee, move the chest forward. And from here we hover the left foot first. So take the foot out a little wide and then squeeze the heel to butt. And lower the chest a little more, straighten the front leg. And if you have the space, lean forward to lift the back leg. Both feet stay flexed. Keep the chest lifting. Keep the gaze forward. Take a full inhale. And then gently soften the right foot down. Push through the hands. Take the left leg straight up and back. And rolling that hip open. And bend the knee. And make it into wild thing. And final back bend here. So pivot the hips and heart up towards the sky. Reach the left arm up and overhead. Take one last breath. And gently come back to downward facing dog. And just sit your bottom down onto the mat. Fantastic work. So as an active practice, lots of hip opening, lots of back bending. We're just going to take it into a final forward fold here. So if you feel like the hamstrings don't need any more length, option to take the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall out wide. Or if you would prefer to keep the legs nice and straight and fold over the thighs, you can take that option. So I'm going to leave it completely up to you. I'm just going to be here for around 5 breaths. Letting everything begin to slow down. As you prepare your body for rest, you may want to adjust your room, whether you turn down the lights or keep something handy that perhaps you might want to rest over your eyes in a moment when we come on down. Take one last breath. As we make it down on to our back, I'm going to extend the left leg out nice and long. Bring the right knee to chest. Keep both of those feet flexed. And start to open your right leg out towards the right hand side. So again, we're resembling that same shape we've continued all practice. If you have more space, option to catch the big toe and extend the right leg out towards the right hand side. And from here we find a gentle twist, so taking the right leg into the opposite hand as you cross the right leg over the body. So if you want the leg to be straight, maybe catch the outside of the foot. Bringing both of those shoulder blades on the ground. And as you gently come on back to center, we'll finish off with the left side. So adjust your hips so they're nice and square. Extend the right leg long. Bring the left knee to chest, giving that a squeeze first. And catching hold of the big toe if you're working on straightening the leg. So you open the left leg out towards the left hand side. Again, if you've got the knee, just catch the knee. And as we work to come back to center, we adjust the hips first. You may want to shuffle them over to the left hand side a touch. And as you take the left leg across the body, again, if you're straightening the leg, you may want to catch the outside of the foot. And spread the arms wide, keep the shoulder blades grounded flat. as you come back to center. Bend up the knees, let the feet ground underneath the knees. Then interlace your hands. Just cradle the back of the head, so lift the head into the hands. Draw the chin in towards the chest. Wiggle and adjust. So you feel the shoulder blades drawing apart. And nice and easy, we're just going to take a little rock from side to side. So this is a chance just to feel the length of the spine ground on the mat. Aiming for around the thoracic portion of the spine, the upper back. So do that maybe 3 or 4 times on either side. And as you come back to center, draw the knees in towards the elbows. So we're still holding the back of the head. The tailbone will lift up. And crunch yourself into this nice tight ball. We'll take one final breath. And then as we exhale to release, today we'll bring soles of feet together. Let the knees fall out wide. And if that is a little tight on your hips, option to take your blocks and pop the blocks underneath the outside of your hips, so that way you can experience the hip opening without there being too much stress on the inner thigh. Let the back body rest and spread out on the mat, let the fingers curl in. Let the eyes soften shut. Allow yourself to be calm and be steady here. Once again, I want to thank you so much for your support, your energy and your practice. I invite you to stay there as long as you like, down in your final resting pose. Just let the video stop naturally when your body is ready to come on out, and you let that natural transition happen. If you're comfortable right where you are, then you stay as long as you can. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon. Peace.